Dire team ban.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the National Cup here on the ProDota English channel, brought to you by Esport Gaming, G2A, Hitbox, D2L. Big thanks to the sponsors. And, well, we are in Game 2 between Greece and Sweden, as Sweden currently haven't lost a game all day. They've 2-0'd Romania. They're 1-0 over Greece, who I think I would consider the favorites for the group. Not too late to tie it up and get themselves a point, but after that last game, Greece will have to switch things up in a big way. I'm Mikelorus, going to be joined by GrandisV for this second game. This is looking like it's going to be a day for Sweden, dude. They've been on a roll.
Absolutely. And going into this next game, I think a lot of the reason why Sweden are on a roll is just individual execution, but maybe even more than that, a lot of the drafts on the enemy side, Greece in game number 1, going for that last pick Shadow Demon really did shake things up in a way that I don't think benefited them that much. The Shadow Demon play was not bad by any means. The Disruption Light Strike arrays were good, but I think they kind of had to pick one or the other, either the Rubik or the Shadow Demon, or maybe throw that Earthshaker as a support and just have the Earthshaker Rubik roam around the map. Not only did picking that Shadow Demon bump Earthshaker to a lane that he's not super comfortable in, but it also took away the Lina Earthshaker combination in mid, which I think would have done a lot better at shutting down the Tiny than whatever the Shadow Demon was trying to accomplish. It just takes too long to get in range for that disruption. That said, we'll move on to game number 2. Let's see if they're able to tie together those loose ends.
Gyrocopter, Tusk, Lina, all still in the pool right now. Shadow Fiend getting a rather early ban out. Usually we see him get through the pool for, quite a large portion of it. Maybe second ban phase, you'll see him there, or second pick phase rather. But so many powerful options for the Greek side. Don't really think it's going to matter too much as to which one's the best, just which one you're the most comfortable with. This is going to be a pretty good situation for Sweden to be in, actually, since they get 2 of those heroes.
Lina's going to be the choice for Greece, and I think that's probably the pick here. Out of those 3, I think Lina is the most flexible. That doesn't really put you into any specific playstyle necessarily. You can throw her mid, maybe even safe lane farming, or as a support, more likely than safe lane farmer. But still, she offers a lot no matter how you play her, as long as she gets her levels up. Mass amount of nuke, good amount of disable, and did I mention mass amount of nuke? She has more of that too. But Gyrocopter Winter Wyvern is going to be the response to that. 2 very powerful heroes in response to the Lina.
Well, if you're looking at nuke damage, you definitely want that up against the Winter Wyvern, who's still a good pick up against Lina, who mixes in some physical as well. But Lina up against the Winter Wyvern, yeah, already I'm pretty sure Team Greece is going to feel pretty good about that. But Wyvern Gyrocopter, kind of a mixed opening from the Swedish side. I mean, they just got done with the Gyrocopter game, so I'm pretty sure they're just going to be comfortable in that regard. But Wyvern is a defense hero for the Gyrocopter. You really do need some sort of offensive hero. You would like an offensive hero to go with the Gyrocopter. Someone with something a little bit more substantial than just an Arctic Burn if you're going to really lock down that safe lane. So they're going to be looking for that in the secondary phase. With no Shaker available to partner up with this Lina, the flexibility gets, that much higher. Lina can go towards the mid lane and be just fine, with or without backup. Maybe it's this time they want to run the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, I'd definitely be a lot more comfortable with them picking up the Shadow Demon here than in the last draft. A lot of what I like to see when teams pick up Shadow Demon is lanes that all have things that rely on or benefit from the Shadow Demon disruption setup, like a Kunkka Torrent, like a Lina Light Strike Ray or Leshrac Split Earth, although we're probably not going to see Kunkka, and Leshrac has already been banned, things along those lines. Clockwork instead is going to be the pick, is going to give them a long-range initiating hero, and on the Dire side is probably the best offlaner to have on that side of the map, although he probably won't be able to kill off Winter Wyvern fairly reliably. Just Arctic Burn, fly out of the cogs, or just give yourself a cold embrace while you're stuck inside them, is still going to open up for the Lina and makes things a lot easier.
And Tusk is still an option here for the Greek side. Like, even though Tusk most of the time is going to be going towards the off lane, running a support Tusk with, support anyone with Clockwork and Lina in the lane, yeah, you could do some serious work with that combo. So maybe they're going to try to force the Swedish hand to ban that out. Whereas for Team Sweden, it's just an offlane here that they can grab as well. So it should be in this game in some way, whether it's picked or banned out. Honestly, I don't really think it matters too much as long as he is in one of those spots. Got Disruptor and Dazzle be banned out. See a lot of respect from the last game, and now Rubik is going to be banned out as well. The support cast is wearing thin. At least the real top tier supports are being mostly eliminated.
left inside the pool. Yeah, there really aren't any that come immediately to mind as far as great supports are concerned, but there's still plenty of reasonable supports available. Anti-Mage, gonna do the band coming out from Sweden. Maybe they want to pick up a Storm Spirit here. At least that would be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, Anti-Mage is an okay late-game hero, but he gets really good when there's a Storm Spirit on the other end. So, kick out the Anti-Mage, grab the Storm Spirit, you should be happy if you're the Swedish side. It might be a little bit too early for that. I mean, you maybe want to get confirmation that this lane is going to be going towards mid, so you could really plan around that a little bit more. Or maybe ideally you get a better matchup for the Storm Spirit than versus Alina, but it seems like they are trying to protect that Storm Spirit pickup. Alternatively, they might just not want to play up against the Anti-Mage. Maybe they're going to grab a Darkseer or someone who maybe struggles a little bit more up against an Anti-Mage safe lane. So those are the two ways I see this Anti-Mage ban shaking down, at least for the Swedish end. It is going to be a Tusk for them. So Tusk combined with Gyrocopter, that's good times. Rocket Barrage after a Snowball, I don't care who you are, it's going to hurt.
Or even just put the Tusk off lane, get him some experience up and running, and make sure that his burst combination is relevant. We don't know what the supports are yet for the side of Greece, so it's nice to have that flexibility still for the Sweden side, that you can shuffle around these heroes and still have a lineup that works. And maybe the Gyrocopter isn't going to be farming after all. It could very well be a support, although it's not something we see very often. Tusk plus Gyrocopter as a roaming duo is pretty scary if they get levels.
A Lion pickup for the Greek side. And Lion is fine. I mean, he definitely has a lot of upside right now, but Ember Spirit after the Lion? Okay, I was about to say that usually you want to get Lion once you see like a Queen of Pain on the other end, or an Ember Spirit, or Storm Spirit, but I guess it works out for Team Greece after all, as Ember Spirit is getting picked then straight into a Huskar. I love me some Huskar. I don't ever like Huskar not 5th pick, though. I feel like you really need to just evaluate the entire team as a whole before you grab this hero.
I'll disagree. I think right now Huskar is a fine pick because unless they do switch up their laning assignments and make that Tusk and Gyrocopter be a support, or have them lane together in the off lane, there's not a single hero that's going to have a significant amount of burst damage that they can comfortably put into that 5th pick slot. Ideally, it would be something along the lines of Lina, but that's already picked up by their team, and I think 4th pick Huskar here is the only way they're going to get their hands on it, is it probably would have been banned by Sweden, so I think the Huskar is absolutely fine since it's going to catch the enemy team off guard, because they'll assume that there's no way they're going to 4th pick up the Huskar. It's not something that they're going to be planning for, and I think this is going to be an incredibly hard game if you're on the Lemon Dog side, because the Huskar, I don't really see him having a poor lane at all. Ember Spirit against Huskar is a terrible matchup for Ember, or for most melee heroes at that. It probably is just going to be a safe lane farming Huskar that they can't apply very much pressure towards, as most of their damage is going to be magical early on, and they just don't have something to push over the edge. The only hero that could have stopped this is Ancient Apparition, I'd say, and I think that's just the no-brainer ban if you're going to be picking up the Huskar.
Yeah, I think nowadays might be transforming how teams think about Huskar just a little bit. Because he is that viable 5th pick, we're just going to grab this hero and screw you over completely. We're seeing a little bit more priority placed on him. Maybe I have to catch up to the times. Maybe I'm just a little bit behind what all the kids are doing these days. But yeah, I mean, the upside for Huskar is definitely here. The physical damage of Ember Spirit, Gyrocopter, though in some junctions will be very high. Most of the time, the goal of that is to spread out the damage through everyone. That's where Sleight of Fist Battle Fury comes in. That's where Flat Cannon comes in. And as much as that is effective in most games, up against a Huskar, it's really not what you want. With no Wyvern, with no Ancient Apparition rather available to the Swedish side, the answer for the Huskar, is it going to be in lane? Like, they probably planned to put this Ember Spirit over in the mid lane, or at least something like that, but they're going to have to juggle it up. It's an axe for them. I mean, it's a good match. It's a good hero versus Huskar in the mid game, but early on, it hurts.
I think it's their only option, though. I don't see another hero that'd be able to deal with the Huskar ever. At the very least, Axe gives you some amount of physical damage and a way to kill off the Huskar that they didn't have before. It allows the spread damage carries to be relevant should they get the Axe offline. I still think the Huskar is an absolutely terrifying hero to be playing up against this game, but if the individual play is on point for the Swedish side, as it has been throughout the rest of the day, at least it gives them a chance.
Well, we got to remember that Team Sweden, they have a lot of defensive power in this draft. Something we saw from them in their first set. They had well, in this game they have the Tusk Snowball, they have the Winter Wyvern to heal, they have Axe and Ember Spirit, who are, just naturally very difficult heroes to bring down. Gyrocopter a little bit more awkwardly placed in there, but the defensive power of the Swedish side is very real. If they can juggle those defensive skills appropriately, really make the Huskar's life a little bit more difficult as far as, who he actually wants to jump in towards every single time, just embrace that target and then continue onwards like that, embrace the next target or snowball the next target or whatever, then it's going to be a lot easier for the Radiant side to actually deal with that Huskar. But that, of course, requires quite a lot of juggling. So we'll see how successful this Huskar is actually going to be. Both sides loading out into their lanes. This is the chance, I think, probably Greece's best chance with this hero to actually grab this 1-1 kill score tie. Where they're going to put, or the Swedish side going to put Krilly on the Gyrocopter over towards, well, I don't know where. He was playing safe lane before. E-Skill is on the Ember Spirit, Staff Style is on the Tusk. Got Frigolite on the Winter Wyvern, and Eris Loco is playing the Axe on the bottom lane.
Currently rotating is their 5-man unit. It's going to be Team Greece with Thug playing on the Silencer, Sneaky on the Huskar, Relax on the Clockwork, Spartan on the Lion, and last but not least, Ill on the Lina. How are these lanes going to shake up? It looks like Silencer's going to be going mid. Sneaky should be farming for them, and Relax will be playing your Clockwork. This is going to put Lion and Lina as your supports, and although once they both hit level 6, they're absolutely terrifying, it looks like they want to play them in more of an aggressive capacity, and that's fine if they're able to get kills, but if they fall behind, Lion is a very lackluster hero if he's only sitting on level 2 or 3. Although the second point Nerf Spike is a pretty big leap in power, if it's like 7 minutes into the game and that's all he has, it really just isn't enough by itself. So this is going to rely a little bit on them snowballing.
Well, right now, Relax is going to walk into something he doesn't want to see. 2 heroes. Looks like he's actually not going to get fully caught out by that. But yeah, the Lina and Lion duo, they need their levels. They need to be successful, and both being level 1, it is very difficult to actually be successful. If they both start at level 3, they'll be golden. They might actually get a chance right now as they're going to run into a couple of heroes. Arctic Burn used, and for the most part wasted. Only 1 shot got off, but it still did a hell of a lot of damage. Lina and Lion, they need their levels to be effective. That's just how it works. They need those levels for level 2 Earth Spike, for the Nuke Comet account, for the Lina to have both Dragon Slave and LSA, and it's very hard to get that when you're always on the roam. They do have the boots on the Lina, so opening up these fights very, very possible, but yeah, I don't really know how successful they're going to be. While they're on the roam, however, Sneaky going up against the Axe in lane is going to be a very nice lane for Sneaky. Sometimes we'll get close enough where he'll get hit with a couple of counter helixes. Other times, Axe is just going to burn, especially with Alina coming in from behind. This might actually be a kill on Eris Loco. If they land an LSA, it will in fact land. Sneaky getting in a little bit closer for a couple burning spears. 2 so far. Body blocking coming in from Ill. Eris Loco is going to take a lot of fire damage from this one, though he does have a lot of tango. Secondary LSA will fire, and that will get the kill on the Axe. First blood drawn by Huskar.
Huskar's burning spears scale pretty incredibly at level 3, and the first point into them isn't all that impressive, but Lina doing all the heavy lifting there. Landing both of her stuns will make it a pretty straightforward first blood, and that's going to remove the supports away from the Gyrocopter. They'll leave Gyro 1v1 versus the Clockwork, which is a lane that Krilly should be pretty comfortable in, and now it's going to be a proper try versus try in bottom lane. But I still think this might favor the side of Greece, since Sneaky does get that extra infusion of gold. It's going to make it very difficult. No mid lane. That's a lot of damage in the Ember Spirit. It's not going to be lethal, but it's a poor omen for things to come. The Ember Spirit isn't going to be getting his bottle for a long time.
Ember Spirit isn't exactly a hero that can dominate the mid lane, and Silencer is, especially if he's up against any melee hero or any low range hero, like even TA, he could do this well. Last Word does a lot of damage. The free harassment you get from Glaze of Wisdom, something that E-Skill really has no counterplay against. He just has to take it and try to regenerate afterwards. Thug might get snowballed, but I mean, even if it's just a level 1 Tusk, I don't think Thug really has that much to fear. He's even going to poke away at Step Style. Now level 2 is a little bit more to be scared of, but Thug is going to be A-okay on this mid lane, unless 2 heroes come in. But Wyvern, she just used her Arctic Burn. She's going to be a very long ways away until she has another one. Up towards top, Relax and Krilly going to get into a man fight. Rocket Barrage is there. Relax taking the full-on barrage. He's just going to die right now. He's going to try to salve, try to juke, but he's going to circle around right into Krilly again. And Krilly's going to get room service, getting a free kill on the Clockwork in a 1v1 scenario.
Very, very unfortunate for this Clock. And now that that first death has happened, the lane gets a lot harder. The Gyrocopter almost has a full 2-level advantage mid lane. Stepstyle has moved onto Thug, but I don't think they're able to kill off the Silencer, and nor do I think they're going to be able to help the Ember Spirit get farm, and the Axe is being pressured off of lane. Huskar has bottom lane on lockdown, and across the board, it kind of feels like the Greece side are getting a mixed bag of advantages. It feels like a very even game, in all honesty.
Well, for the Greeks, they just have like all these free harassment tools. Like they have the Lina with an obnoxious range over towards mid. Actually, Thug gonna get snowballed in, caught in the shards well. But here comes Spartan. One man spike, not gonna save Thug actually with the Orb of Venom. He's gonna try to turn around for the kill. He's not gonna get it. In fact, Ember Spirit will survive in the end. TP wasted there from Spartan. That's why you need levels on your Lion, so you can do a little bit more with that spike. Because level 1 spike is actually pretty bad. But they have the long range in Lina. They have the glaives. They have the searing spears from Huskar. It does add up in the end, but Sneaky now in a little bit of trouble. If he gets called to creep wave, it could be lethal. If he gets a couple spins, there's one. Sneaky in a lot of trouble. Will fall. Should fall. There it is. Axe is gonna swing him down, and well, Ill's gonna be a little bit too late incoming to the party. So Frigolite and Eris Loco really just getting the proper timing on that Huskar kill, catching him with the call with the creep wave right there.
Yeah, it's something that's not necessarily easy to do, but up towards top, Hasted Ember Spirit going in for Relax. Clockwork does have the battery assault. Under tower, E-Skill's going to take a little bit of damage, but that's just overwhelming for the Clockwork to deal with. 4-1 is our kill score, and it feels like the Swedish squad are out-executing a little bit in a lot of these lanes. Ember Spirit, although 1v1 against the Silencer, was struggling a lot and probably will continue to do so, is getting involved in some kills, which is more than you could probably hope.
Remember that no matter what happens in this mid lane, Silencer is still super soft. Ember Spirit still has a little bit more double damage, and he's spotted by an observer where it's a little bit awkward for him, but man, just roll into Thug and you can beat him down super easily with these two heroes if you are somehow able to land that. 4-1 and Krilly is unstoppable in this top lane. Like, they need another hero at least. Oh, they're going to snowball into Thug. He's in a little bit of trouble. This time he has two heroes to support. They'll kill off Tusk, get Thug his first stack of it. Now onto E-Skill. Lots of damage from these glaives. Will that be enough? It won't with the sticks. They need one more cast of anything. Dragon Slave from downtown, going to be off the mark, but they will catch Frigolite with a spike. That might be a kill instead. Splinter Blast on a Thug will drop him low, and will drop Ill low. Also, tower shots, not going to do it. Bottling from Thug will save Lina, but now he's going to walk right through. Oh, gets trapped! No, Thug, run the other way. Here comes Stepstyle. He's going to try to turn and fight. Lina and Lion, they don't really have that much mana left, and Thug will get hit with a snowball for sure. Oh, there it is. Couple more right clicks. LSA is in time, though. Thug, one more glaive, will get the kill. Live at 18 HP, will even kill off the Sigil. Okay, that was pretty Thug. That was pretty baller.
That was an absolute mess to watch. I thought it would be disastrous as soon as Silencer got 4 points surrounded by the edge of the mid lane, but they're able to turn that around. A lot of disable coming out from the Lina and the Lion to help out the Silencer and support him there, but that means so much, being involved not only in a couple of kills, but surviving afterwards. The good news for the Radiant team is that 0-1 tower top is going to fall to the Gyrocopter, and he knows Relax is here. Caldown's going to miss. The Clockwork will be able to go through a path that he'd previously made in the trees and will be just fine.
Yeah, but still Krilly's doing really well up on that top lane. Thug surviving there gave him in total 6 intelligence. Not too bad there, and Lion Lina got a lot of experience from that as well. Lina level 4 now, Lion level 3. I'm sure the Greek side would rather have that swap, but Thug's gonna get snowballed in once again. Lina's gonna start TPing in. Thug not gonna get aggroed since Ember Spirit's actually silenced. E-Steel does have a triple jump in. He'll jump onto Thug, trying to get this kill. Stick charges on Thug will not save him. He will burn an Ill. Also being chased down by Stepstyle, will die as well. It's a 2 kill this time, as the reinforcements just not enough this time from the Greeks. Will end up losing 2 heroes for free. They're going to look for Eris Loco, however, start draining his mana. Sneaky does not have life break, so you're going to start with the Searing Arrows. Eris Loco going to drop pretty low. He's going to try to go for Spartan, try to get a kill before he dies. There's one dunk, and with the movement speed, he'll get a lot of distance, but he's still going to burn. No Embrace in time, although I don't really think it would matter. Now life break, grabbed by Sneaky as he does break level 6. He's got to fight up against Krilly, though. Even with that Berserker's Blood, it's only level 1, and Krilly will grind through him with the maxed out Rocket Barrage. Oh, actually, here comes Relax. They're not done yet. Frigolite gonna try to deny himself to neutral, try to draw the aggro with the Splinter Blast. That won't work. Relax now has to deal with Krilly, though. Seems like that's the name of the story. Relax always trying to juke away from Krilly. Does it again. Walks right through all the trees. I think Winter Wyvern dug out that hole from previous, and Relax was able to walk straight through it. 8-6, though. And Huskar finally grabs level 6. We're not done yet. Over in the mid lane, Thug in a little bit of trouble once again. The shield is burning him down. He's going to try to race it, bottling up through. E-Skill needs to get out of here, but he will die to Thug, giving him 8 now total intelligence. Man, diving this mid lane is just so incredibly risky for the Radiant side. It's kind of like a 50-50 whether or not it works.
Huskar dying there is very important for Greece. If he didn't die, he'd have his armlet completed. But Sneaky's now going to be delayed, and the gyrocopter is the big benefactor of all of that. He's going to have, or beneficiary rather, he's going to have almost a completed helm done. And Curly will be able to accelerate his farm quite nicely. But all things considered, I think they're going to be alright with all that because the Ember Spirit dies in mid. Not only is that important for the Silencer to keep his advantage, but that's also intelligence off of an Ember Spirit. He really does stretch his mana pool.
He has the bottle, he has the Ring of Aquil. Eventually he'll get a Void Stone in that Battle Fury as well, but still he will not always have the mana to do everything that he always wants, especially since he's died well, only once at this stage. I thought it was a couple more, but Silencer has been collecting a decent amount of intelligence over the course of this game. Clockwork now has his level 6 up as well, so he has his hookshot plus maxed out battery assault, so if he gets hookshot into anyone, they're going to be in for a lot of hurt. We have a smoke up first, though. E-Skill and Steph Style, both on the hunt. They do see top lane Huskar. He should have his armlet already. Yeah, he does. So even killing him off, not really a huge deal. They're going to instead snowball towards Ill. There's a line here for the spike, which will slow down Steph's out. Global Silence is there as well, but the shield is still bringing a Spartan. Hookshot in, and the LSA from Ill is going to save herself right now. She will go down in the end, trying to go for Steph Style. Sneaky not doing a ton of damage with the Burning Spears will eventually start to kick in, and it will be enough to kill off Tusk. Now Thug with Haste Rune chasing after E-Skill. There's no chance that the Ember Spirit actually gets out of here, and Thug will grab another 2 stacks of intelligence. Now looking to cut off Frigleet, who has no TP, is going to get spotted by Thug. And just the slow poking death. There's no chance for Frigleet here. He'll die giving more intelligence to Thug. This is a Silencer game. Now 14 intelligence stolen. And it's a double kill for him. 1,000 gold in the bank. That is a huge exchange for the Greeks.
Absolutely. It's really hard to equate the intelligence that Silencer is picking up to an item or some other sort of resource that is being matched on the enemy team. It's not only 14 intelligence for Silencer, but it's 14 intelligence away from the enemy team. Ember Spirit now, with only a max of 377 mana, can barely get off his spells. And in fact, if he isn't at full mana, can't use everything. And once he has Sleight of Fist, he actually just can't.
And maybe there's going to be some Clockwork shenanigans in there as well to mess with his mana pool. Spartan also has ways of manipulating the enemy's mana pool. It's, not always going to be the case where he gets the mana drain on the Ember Spirit, since, well, it's going to hurt if you do, in fact, decide to go for that. But, yeah, the chances of the Radiant side to be screwed over by their mana pools is slowly but surely increasing as these levels come up, as the kills go up on the Silencer. Not only that, he also now is level 9, has a Vit booster on the way. Looks like he's going to go for that Rod of Atos. And Sneaky does have his completed armlet. He's still farming up for something. Looks like he wants to get a little bit of lifesteal. So now he's always going to be comfortable at that, 0 mark, surfing up to 400 something. And yeah, he's going to be in full-on Huskar mode. There's a couple more levels before he's truly comfortable being there. But we also have to have at the same time smoke up 3 heroes looking to wrap around mid. This mid lane has been an absolute battleground right now. In 10 seconds, Thug will have another Global Silence, and then I don't know if Team Sweden can actually hold this fight.
This is going to be hard. The smoke wraparound. There's your hookshot in from Relax. Going to catch out Frigleet. He'll be able to Arctic Burn over the cog. Snowball's there from the Tusk. Laguna Blade onto the sidelines. They'll kill off the Ember, but everybody's dropping inside the AoE combo. They'll look for the dunk, and they'll find it. Thug looking for the TP. The damage is there. All it costs them is the buyback on Ember Spirit, and albeit that is a pretty costly buyback, that gyrocopter cooldown was backbreaking.
It wasn't only the gyrocopter cooldown, it was that combined with the surprise Blink Dagger 4-man call from the Axe. I didn't even see that Eris Loco had that Blink Dagger. I was not paying super close attention to this Axe over the course of the game, but he found his gold, and it was a fast Blink Dagger. It was a perfectly used Blink Dagger at that. I want to say most of those problems could have been mitigated should Silencer have used that Global Silence a lot earlier. But I think that also didn't happen because he didn't know that the Axe had his Blink Dagger. They just weren't expecting that. The Global Silence should have come, I think, as soon as they threw out the hook shot. It would have been probably the safest way to do it. Maybe they wouldn't have gotten as many kills. They were trying to go for more kills this way, just trying to catch the Global Silence at the perfect time. But the lack of Global Silence there meant that Gyrocopter and Axe were both able to get in there and do exactly what they want to do, which is cause havoc, kill everybody. And if you just use the Global Silence earlier, you pretty much avoid all of that. Global Silence was finally used and pretty much did nothing by the end of it. Axe collecting huge off of that, now is well on his way towards his Blade Mail, and still Krilly is without a death. 5-0-2 with another 1,000 gold in the bank. Looks like it's going to be the same build, BKB as his first item, but man, he's so loaded right now, he could probably go for anything.
Yeah, absolutely. If he goes Zanj into SNY, I think that would also be reasonable. something that Greece should look to get them back into this game. Roshan for Sneaky would be wonderful, and he can very easily do that Roshan by himself. With just an armlet, it's possible if you're standing in the right spot inside the Roshan pit. And if he smokes in, I think he won't be detected. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Right now, the vision coming out from the Radiant team is good enough to where they know exactly where Sneaky is, and oh, this looks like a blink call dunk very easily by Eris Loco. There's the call. He gets the armlet toggle off first. Eris Loco is still in a lot of trouble. Laguna Blade, and they'll smack him down. Lina going to secure the axe kill, and Huskar will survive.
Not sure if good reflexes or unlucky axe. Either way, Sneaky is able to continue on farming, gets a free kill, pretends almost nothing happened there. The double pew pew combo is now up. Lina and Lion both with their ultimates, though E-Skill does have his ultimate. Hookshot not going to connect. Last word will be thrown out, but that's not quite going to do it as Ember Spirit gets pretty darn far away and will be just fine. We're sitting on a lot of burst damage between these two heroes. If they focus into the Wyvern, instantly dead. Gyrocopter, also a viable target for that. If you could somehow catch the Ember Spirit without the Flame Guard up, that'll be a huge pick off for these two supports. We're looking at a lot of threat across the board. In fact, I'm pretty sure everyone on the Greek side are capable of solo kills right now.
Smoke up, but it was spotted out by a Radiant Observer Ward, so it looks like this isn't going to catch anybody out, and it's probably not going to scare them Roche either. And I think that the Tusk should be able to scout this one out. He has Ice Shards over the top, and they should know that this is the rotation that they were going for. That said, maybe the Radiant are going to feel that they're going for the gank instead, but I think Stuff Style knows what's up. Let's see.
They have the axe, they have the gyrocopter. This is... Oh, actually, no, they don't have the axe. Axe is over in the top lane. What did they think that smoke was for? Did they just not see it? I think that's the only explanation there. They now see everyone in the pit. E-Skill's going to prep his shield up. They're getting ready for the call down. Steph Style wants to snowball in, but Hookshot, first of all, going to miss from Relax. Puts up the cogs. Now Steph Style stuck in the middle of the river. Will snowball right over everything. Call down onto 4 with Eris Loco jumping in with the curse as well. Ember Spirit's going to get in there as well. Sneaky and Thug immediately dropped in exchange for only the axe. Relax going to try to close in, but he's now completely surrounded. Rocket Shot will kill him off. Now Sneaky going to jump to the high ground, try to go for Friggly, but the Burning Spear is just not doing enough. Now Krilly's going to close in with the Rocket Rush. Sneaky has to armlet toggle and be very lucky at the exact same time. Stunned by the snowball, will get swiped down by E-Skill. And Lina, she is nowhere nearby. It's a 4 for 2, that 4 for 5, 2 for 5 actually, if you want to count the Aegis there. A disastrous fight for the Greeks as Sweden takes yet another one fight.
They're getting too clumped up, Greece. They're getting caught out by the call down, by the call itself from the axe, and in general just finding themselves in really poor positioned engagements. And on the flip side of the coin, Sweden are very spread out, and although they try to isolate these initiations and try to jump for it, they missed their hook shot, and Global Silence I don't believe was available for that fight, and even if it was not used. So unless they get a hook shot or a good global, it's really hard for them to take these fights, and they're getting punished. That Roshan is supposed to be one of Huskar's biggest strong points, where he just start mowing down these tier 1 towers and maybe even pressuring tier 2s, but every time they find some sort of advantage, it's completely halted by the gyrocopter and the axe.
I feel like that type of fight is the type of fight that happens if you don't know the enemy axe is a blink dagger. But clearly he has it. I mean, he already used it to kick your ass the previous. Hookshot, yeah, is going to catch the Ember Spirit. He should be fast. No, never mind. Finger of Death from downtown. That was super long range. Call down will be thrown. No interruption on the Relax Clockwork TP. He'll get out of there just fine. And it will just be a snipe on the Ember Spirit. Man, I did not expect Finger of Death to be that long in the cast range, but I'm always surprised by the Finger of Death's cast range, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised this time. It's a pretty good pick off on the Ember Spirit, and also they see Steph Style jump in. No snowball to dodge that. However, he will have it eventually. Sneaky is going to get hit with the curse. Steph Style, though, still burning and will burn to death. He's in the snowball. Now a burning snowball, but I don't think he's actually going to get out of here. He'll die to the Lina.
Yeah, that's going to be a handful of good pickoffs for the Greece side. And Huskar right now has probably the best creep to have as a Huskar. He is the Ogre Frost Mage. Before that, he had the Aura Wildkin creep, which is probably a little bit better for tanking Roshan. But still, with this extra bit of armor, he's sitting at 21 now. His resist to the damage coming out from the Radiant team is extremely high, as long as they're able to cover him and get good initiations. The biggest difference inside those last couple of pickoffs is they actually landed the hookshot and they had a good global. And it really does change everything. I think the biggest reason why we underestimate Lion's range on Finger of Death is because we're so accustomed to Laguna Blade, which does have a pretty significantly lower range.
Well, Lion just can point that much further than Lina, I suppose. It is,
Yeah,
again,
it
a
is
lot of
bigger.
damage that can be put into someone like an Ember Spirit, who, by the way, is walking onto the bottom lane, feels pretty comfortable, but there are a lot of heroes incoming. Hex, level 2, Spike, level 4. They just have to actually land this hook shot. If they can, and if Spartan can close in fast enough, then this should be a pretty free kill onto E-Skill. The trap is ready, but he sees him. He sees the Lina, and he jumps immediately out.
Yeah, there was an angle, but unfortunately for the Dire team, they just didn't have wards around that area to know if he had support. We know that he didn't. The axe was too far away. His supports were on the other side of the map entirely. But I think that was just a little bit of hesitance coming out from them. If there was an axe behind, that could have completely exploded the likes of the support Lina and Lion. Despite having a lot of damage between them, their max HP pools right now are exactly tied at 739. Not very impressive to an axe.
Well, still, the Huskar is going to tank up in the armor department. He has plate mail now up on him. There's not that much physical damage coming out of the Swedish side right now, and it's going to be slowly increasing at that, but slowly being the operative word. Gyrocopter not going to go for a ton of physical damage. I mean, he will have it eventually, but not very quickly. E-Skill has gone for travels, which is nice and everything, but that's going to, of course, delay his Battle Fury by quite a lot. So Huskar right now is very, very difficult to actually kill off if you're on Team Sweden. I think it should be powerful enough, especially with the Global Silence now up, to just go for a straight tier 1. As far as trades in sight for Team Sweden, there aren't really that many. Like, maybe just split push bottom and mid, but pretty sure this top lane tier 1 is going to fall without too much of an issue.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right. Right now, although they probably could defend if they had everybody in position, they'd probably be better suited just to sit back and farm. They're going to have an Ancient stack up for the Axe to accelerate his gold progression a little bit. And this is time where the Ember Spirit can propel himself towards his next couple of items. Although his net worth isn't that far behind that of the Huskar and Silencer, his impact inside this game is going to be very limited until he gets the Battle Fury and bigger damage items up. He's committed into a lot of, although cost-effective items, not ones that are going to help his survivability or damage much.
Yeah, they fall off really quickly as far as their impacts, and travels will always be relevant, but it really only truly becomes relevant 30-40 minutes in the game when you have the damage to back it up. So you actually travel into a fight and do something in that fight, as opposed to just throw out some sleight of fist searing chains and then call it a day. It seems like both sides are okay with farming for just a little while longer. I don't think there are any like super crucial items that are coming up aside from mixed damage items, these one or two useful items, but no blink daggers, no BKBs are really being built up. They're just buying time for E-Skill, Team Sweden, and for the Greek side, just getting farming the Silencer, Huskar, trying to split that up as much as possible. Lina, Lion, as supports, their weakest stage is the super early game, like level 1 through 4, let's say, but if they do manage to get through that decently, and they have, they can transition into really dangerous heroes. Lina has her Yule Scepter. Lion just needs a Blink Dagger, and he's a super potent threat. So for Team Greece, they're sitting pretty right now. They're going to flare, see Krilly, see Steph style, not make it play.
Yeah, without the Blink Dagger on the line, it's a lot harder to make the jump for those pickoffs onto the Gyro and the Tusk. And that Blink Dagger on the line is going to be a long ways incoming. Currently sitting on only 200 gold. They very heavily prioritized Lina's item progression, but if you compare her net worth to that of the Ember Spirit, she's only about 700 gold behind him. If she goes for like a Glimmer Cape or an Aghanim Scepter next, she'll look like just an underfarmed mid Lina. She's getting a lot. Hookshot. They land it squarely on E-Skill's Global Silence there. They'll bounce it back in. They have more than enough lockdown here as long as they don't majorly mess up, and they'll be able to get a very easy kill. That's another stack of intelligence stolen away from the Ember Spirit and a big pickoff for the team, although it does cost them the global cooldown.
That's a very long cooldown at that. 2 minutes where Thug is not going to have that global silence. So it's 2 minutes where the Greek side just want to avoid a fight in as much as they can. And I think they probably can get away with that as well. I mean, they have 20 seconds where they can make a 4v5 push, but that's probably a little bit of a narrow timing for them, or at least a little bit too narrow for their liking. With such a slow game state, with both sides just content to sit back and farm and do nothing, yeah, you're going to be more than happy to use your global silence and then get right back to farming if it means getting another kill. Ember Spirit, as I said before, will occasionally run into those mana issues, and it seems like he's actually going to not go for a Battle Fury. Didn't he have a sword on the courier? Oh god, that's not the right button. No, it seems like he sold the sword and is going to go for a Yasha build.
Yeah, I think Manta style this game is probably a necessary evil for the Ember Spirit, but it is going to delay his ability to get items. That said, if he doesn't have that more defensive item pickup, it's going to be almost impossible for him to stay out in this map. So I think that Manta style is probably the best option for E-skills, and I don't think he had a sword ever. I think he was just sitting on these items. His net worth hasn't changed significantly.
Alright, well, I'm pretty sure there was some sword on the courier. I don't really know who it was. I just saw it, assumed Ember Spirit. Maybe I was looking at the wrong courier. Who knows? Maybe I'm crazy.
I think that was Axe's broadsword for his
oh, okay,
blade mail.
that's okay. Fair enough, fair enough. So, Axe has the sword. Yes, Axe has a sword, which is, that's fine. He has that built into the blade mail, so it is just going to be Ember Spirit progressing as usual towards that Yasha, towards that Manta style, which is, as you said, though nice, not exactly what you want to be doing. That means that for the Swedish side, they'll have to wait even longer before they're able to make any sort of truly aggressive play. So far, they've been winning these fights mostly because Team Greece have been clumping up, but that's definitely not something you can rely upon throughout the entirety of this game. Eventually, the Greek side are going to have a well-positioned fight, or at least not a terrible position in that fight, and then, well, you're just going to fall off real hard. But both sides are just farming. This is going to be a super slow game, and maybe we're going to have an engagement up towards top of that. Seems fairly unlikely. Global Silence is now back up again, so that use of the Global Silence early to pick out the Ember Spirit, totally worth it.
Yeah, definitely so. They attempted to force step into Hex on the line, but a blink away by the Axe is going to mean that's not going to happen. But bottom lane, they're looking for another kill into this Ember Spirit. I think he knows what's up. He's going to Remnant back under this tower, and he'll be fine for now, but this tier 1, probably not so lucky. He'll drop a Remnant here and could, in theory, back up, but unless Krilly is there, I don't think that the Swedish side really want to fight at all. The Gyrocopter is most of the net worth from their team, and in fact he's by and large the highest farmed hero on this map. He has a full MKB, 25 minutes in after finishing a BKB, Helm, Tequila, and Phase. This Gyrocopter is very scary, and the physical damage against the Huskar is going to help a lot, but is it going to be enough? They kind of need a good Axe call again, and we haven't seen call connecting, let alone used, for quite a while.
The problem here with Krilly is that he's holding on to all of the net worth from the Swedish side, and it's still very possible for the Greek side to actually kill him off. Though he does have a BKB, though he does have a decent health pool, the fast form of initiation from a Lion, if he's glimmered in, the explosiveness of just Silencer's damage output, means that even with all this damage output, Gyrocopter may very well die without doing anything in these fights, should the Greek side get the good initiation off. It is very difficult, however. They're actually going to smoke in right into Frigolite. There's this straight Hex. Spike is available. Will be used to manage rain. Here comes Eris Loco. Will interrupt the combo. May actually get the kill onto Ill. They use the Global Silence, though, and now Eris Loco's taking a huge chunk of damage from these glaives. Will die. Frigolite should die as well. It's a double kill for Thug. And in theory, good counter initiation from the Axe, but just not enough follow-up there, and it's going to be Global Silence used this time for 2 kills. The Greek team win another one.
The biggest issue for the Greece side is breaking high ground. I think they're going to need this BKB on the Huskar before they can really consider it. That said, his BKB is done if he sells his Magic Wand. So that's not going to be an issue for much longer. Their tower pushing power is just very limited, and I might have liked to see an Assault Cuirass on this Silencer, but it looks like that's going to be built up by the Huskar. Thug's just not getting enough gold to where he can really consider going for those items. The Atos and the Force Staff are probably necessary. Mid lane, going to look for it, but Relax not going to find any sort of initiation. Hookshot's still on cooldown after the fight up top.
Well, bottom lane's also being pushed by Krilly with that MKB. This Gyro pushes super quickly. Huskar will shove him out of the lane, and it will be, end result, just 1 tower going towards the Greek side. But now Huskar has his completed BKB flying out, has Helmet Dominator and Plate Mail, and upgraded boots. Like this Huskar, though he is pretty darn farm, pretty darn deadly, has so much room to grow, as does Ill, who actually is now going to go towards his Aghanim Scepter. This isn't really like the most common Lina build, but for a support Lina, this is an extraordinary amount of farm. In fact, she's 4th place in the net worth. Now 700 above the Ember Spirit, where I think before she was 700 behind. She's absolutely loaded right now, and once that pure damage Laguna Blade comes up, well, Gyrocopter, your net worth, it's so precious. It's so important for Team Sweden to keep that alive. It's so much more difficult to when there's a Laguna Blade flying towards them.
Yeah, the good news for Gyrocopter is probably for another 5 to 10 minutes, Lina isn't going to have her level 16, even if she has Ags, and so there is going to be a pretty significant window where Gyrocopter's health pool is still enough. inside these fights, but it might even force him into going towards the Satanic as his next item, which is something that he probably doesn't want to do. A lot of the damage, even though, granted, there is a good amount of magic nuke, comes through the right clicks of the Huskar and the silencers, so a butterfly would be his preferred purchase, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a real option. Krilli's Invis hunting up towards top. If they get a good axe call, this could go very nicely for them. They're going to open up with the call down onto Thug, slowing him down, but a force half away, and Thug should be just fine.
Oh, here comes E-Skill. He's moving pretty quick. Blink forward, axe call, gonna catch Thug, who's gonna drop very, very quickly. Here comes Ill, who's gonna very quickly realize, I should not be here. Krilli's gonna charge forward the BKB, expecting Ill to pop out of Glimmer soon. He will, but there's no follow-up for this one. They're gonna try to chain someone down, will catch creeps instead. And it's just going to be BKB used for the silencer kill, which is nice. It'll also translate into that tier 2, but in such a slow game, unless they can capitalize on this a little bit further, I'm pretty sure Team Greece is going to be okay trading kills for BKB charges on the Gyrocopter.
They need to get to Roshan Pit fast. Double damage Huskar is going to make quick work of this Rosh. Looks like he's going to lose his Frost Mage if he's not careful, and that'd be sad. You really do want to keep that Frost Mage alive, as I kind of already touched on, but right now it's on 0 mana, so he needs to send it back to base regardless. Still, nobody's scouted out this pit, nobody's close to this pit, and it looks like Huskar is going to get away with the murder of Roshan again.
Or Roche never saw it coming. The Radiant side aren't going to see it coming either, as it's too late for them, even if they make a beeline right now. 15 stacks of fire on that Roshan, and now a double life on Huskar. Team Greece are in a position to actually go for a play, I think, in just 300 gold. They really want Spartan to get that Blink Dagger. That will completely, or I mean, have a chance to completely nullify the BKB on Gyrocopter. Spartan gets that, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves, and by that time, Lina should have another 200 gold. She'll have her Aghanims as well. A whole series of big items that are going to be picked up. And Axe, oh, don't go for this one. He's going to try to go for kill on Ill. Even if he gets it right now, I don't think he's going to escape, because here comes the hook shot coming in from Relax. Eris Loco put now in the cogs, and Spartan is going to get his Blink Dagger gold pretty quickly. That'll give it to him. Silencer also grabs a little bit more intelligence.
I think that trade is alright for the Axe. If we take a look at the net worth of the Axe and the Lina, they're pretty much neck and neck, and that's going to secure Axe's BKB. Lina still picks up her Ags, and the Lion being involved in that kill is very important for that team since he gets his Blink, but all things considered, we can pretty much call that just a dead-even trade. It'll delay the push, at least for 26 seconds.
I don't know. I mean, if you're on the Radiant team, you feel like that's a pretty good trade because you pretty much grabbed the BKB. But you don't know that the Lion just grabbed Blink Dagger because of that. You also don't know that the Lina just bought the Aghanims right beforehand. So if you're the Radiant, if you're looking at this game from the Radiant perspective, it looks pretty good. But with full I guess, vision, being in the spectator's seat, we can see that it does benefit the Dire side a lot more than ordinarily would, since Lion will now get spotted out by Frigolite, so the Blink Dagger is no longer a surprise, but he'll back off safe and sound. Frigolite's in a bad position right now, gets hit with the hook shot, cogs back as well. He's going to try to run down to the low ground, gets spiked even through the Glimmer. LSA going to chain stun him there, and now he's going to land into a whole bunch of pain. Silencer going to grab another kill. 28 intelligence now stolen from the enemy side. And it seems like Team Greece, they're getting slight edge after slight edge after slight edge. And it's translating into quite a few high-impact items.
The part of that trade that we didn't talk about was the tier 2 tower and bottom lane that was taken down that secures the Satanic for the Gyrocopter. So even though there are slight advantages and disadvantages for either side, I don't think it's going to mean that much, but in mid lane, if Axe can pull this off again, that is huge. The creeps have all died. He'll pop the BKB and chop off Lina's head. Caught out alone, the Axe had really good vision to make that move.
Axe is getting a lot of solo kills. That's something you would expect from Axe after he just picks up his Blink Dagger like 12, 15, 20 minutes in. Not 30 minutes in. Like, you shouldn't really be able to get those solo kills, but always catching a hero, in this case, and I guess the last case as well, that hero being Lina with not a ton of armor in a full creep wave, yeah, it's pretty easy. Now he's looking for Spartan right now. Blink call. Ooh, Spartan fast fingers is going to dodge that one. But yeah, Eris Loco getting kills that he really shouldn't be getting. Now they're going to hookshot into E-Skill. They have the Hex and Spike. E-Skill in a lot of trouble. Instant loses shield. Global Silence is there as well, so no help from Steph Style Snowball. Will mech. That won't do anything. Now Huskar's going to come in straight into Steph Style. Still wants to get that Snowball up. He will do so, but it's going to bring him into Relax, I think. I don't know, it's a creep wave. That's, either way, not going to work out for him. He's going to burn to something. Axe is going to jump in with a call down there as well. They've once again clumped up, and Krilly's there, untouched with the MKB and the BKB. He's going to tear everyone to shreds. That's 3 kills immediately. A Sneaky's going to respawn full health. He's going to try to go for Friggly and get something with the BKB pop. He's not taking a ton of damage right now. There's the call available for Air Slowco. Will distract from Sneaky a little bit. Here comes Ill, back from the dead. Sneaky's still alive somehow, taking not enough damage. They'll bring down the Axe. Now they're going to try to race for Krilly. Sneaky's so tanky right now. Another life break. Krilly will fall in the end, and Axe will as well. Relax does take the last kill. Ultimately, Relax and Ill are the only survivors out of that in a 5-for-3 trade.
The end gold exchange is going to favor the Dyers quite a lot. But yeah, that was ridiculous how long Huskar was able to survive. Usually you don't see that type of survivability unless Huskar was building mass evasion, but that wouldn't have even helped him. The MKB's up on the gyrocopter. That was so close. The Huskar ends the godlike spree of the gyro, getting himself 950 gold, which is immediately an assault cuirass. About 300 gold, or 200 gold rather, as soon as he respawns. So that's really big for the Grease squad. And since Selena survived, she's up to 1700 gold now. She's still out farming the Ember Spirit by a large lump sum. The Ember just isn't getting anything. Eskulls is sitting on Manta Style Boots of Travel. These are fine items to have like 24 minutes in a game, but it's very far past its prime.
He's picked up his Manta Style and hasn't had anything since then. Whereas everyone from Team Grease has been buying so many items, especially this Huskar. I think that pretty well illustrates the point that we were making earlier in the draft, where you need heavy single target damage to deal with the Huskar. You need like anti-mage style damage or Phantom Lancer style damage to deal with him. But Gyrocopter is more so in the AoE. He was working on that Huskar as best he could, and even with an MKB just didn't do enough because Huskar is sitting at 25 armor. Not to mention the amount of regen that he has, not to mention the magic immunity, not to mention the assault cuirass that is very close to being completed on him. So Huskar is pretty much pure anti-right clicks right now, and that's most of the damage output from the gyrocopter. It's a really big fight there for Team Grease. Clockwork now with the finished Aghanim Scepter, also one of the few survivors of that fight, and Lena now has a Blink Dagger. She is just, absolutely stacked right now. Still 4th place in the net worth, but I wouldn't be surprised to see her overtake the Silencer. That's also farming up pretty darn well. It grabs a Sheep Stick. Force Staff into Sheep onto someone like E-Skill or Eris Loco. Yeah, that can get you some very easy kills. For right now, though, it's going to be Spartan to walk into a very dangerous position right now. Puts an Observer Ward down, sees the enemy Observer Ward, and is actually going to wait for backup before he actually dewards. Very safe plays coming out from Team Grease.
For sure. A big thing about the Huskar being able to win that man fight, or at least trade even in that man fight against the Gyrocopter in that last fight, was that they wasted the Satanic by Yulesing him. Right as he activates that item. If he's able to get the Satanic off inside the next fight against the two of them, I think Krilly should be able to come out on top pretty convincingly now, especially since he has the Talisman. Yeah. That's not an axe anymore. Want to check for a pulse?
Wait, Lion actually... he missed with Finger of Death because Lena killed him first. There is I guess it's like a projectile for Finger of Death and Laguna Blade. I don't know if it's actually... There's like a delay. So Lena got the kill while the Finger of Death was like mid-travel. So that sucks for Lion. But that's a super dead axe.
I mean, if I'm the Lion, I'm not mad about that. I mean, maybe you wasted Finger. It's fine. The axe is dead. You used ultimates and he died.
You send a message also. Oh, they're going to catch E-Skill actually. Sheep Stick first. He's going to try to juke around the tree. Spartan is here. Can't get the spike off though. He didn't expect that wraparound, and Ember Spirit now very far away is going to be just fine. But, they don't get the kill on the Ember Spirit. They get the tier 2 tower mid lane. Almost as good.
Down towards bottom, Gyrocopter is applying a little bit of pressure onto this tier 3, but the damage that he actually does is pretty limited, and he already took the tier 2 quite a long time ago. It's looking increasingly like the Sweden side are relying almost exclusively on Krilly to deal the damage inside these fights, and he's going to be getting a Butterfly soon, which helps him with Ember Spirit. Looking for the Blink Hex, not going to be fast enough. He's going to be very quick on his reaction, make it all the way back towards as well. But that kind of shows how defensively this Ember Spirit's forced to play. His remnants are not, as we usually see, just on the side of the lane or close to his towers. It's all the way back base.
He only has 2,600 gold right now. He can get a Chrysalis or a Demon Edge, and that's okay, but you really want to complete a Daedalus right now for an Ember Spirit, 37, pushing 40 minutes in the game. He needs that damage output.
He doesn't even have his Battle Fury yet, though. Yeah.
You can't rely on Krilly to do it all the time, but they kind of have to right now. He just needs more time and space to farm, but there's so many varied threats on the enemy side that this space not gonna happen. Blink forward Hex on E-skill, but suddenly here comes the axe with BKB. Spartan is completely screwed. There goes his head. Sneaky's also gonna show his face here. Pops the BKB, gets cursed up immediately. Takes quite a bit of damage, but he's still going to be able to turn around and fight with Helmet Dominator. He's fighting to the death. His death is coming soon. Now Relax is going to come in. I'm not sure if this is the best idea. They're going to catch ill as Relax is going to try to go for something. You can't risk Krilly. That's just not going to happen. Team Greece falling apart in that fight, going in one at a time. That is not what you should do. You should sacrifice the Lion, fall back with everyone else.
Not only is that 3 kills, but that's a tier 2 tower, tier 3 pressure, and a gem lost by the Lion, and now a buyback by the Clock. There's really not anything more that could have gone worse, unless the Lina and Silencer just offered themselves up on a silver platter, because that's pretty much what the Huskar and the Silencer did. Hookshot in, they're going to try to defend, they buy back in the Huskar with the Laguna Blade, they'll drop the Ember low, but even if this kill this Ember isn't even worth it, they're going to jump into Step Style Sneaky. It's going to put a lot of damage onto this Tusk, but they're inside the Snowball, which will delay a lot of its effectiveness. Stun into Sneaky, they will lose the Tusk, but Gyrocopter, more importantly, has died on the backlines as he's isolated by the Clockwork. Chasing forward, blink forward by Lil, only enough mana for 1 stun, has no ability for a Yule's Scepter. That is going to walk around the corner, looking for the hook. It's going to split the wickets. Hex over onto Frigolite. It's going to cancel his TP out, as the axe does make it safely, but the Winter Wyvern not going to be so lucky. They'll get a couple of return kills, but that's a costly defense at that for the Greece side. 2 buybacks.
Ooh, Eris Loco still sticking around this top lane. Is he feeling baller? How baller is he feeling right now? It looks like
he's feeling pretty baller.
I think he's baller. He's going to jump in, but Sneaky has a lot of damage. Is he going to get into call range? Looks like he will fail the call and will fall. That creep will get lifted up, but Axe, I mean, you can't really blame him for going for that. Sometimes you just got to do it. But suddenly the turnaround is certainly there. It does force out 2 buybacks in the Clockwork, as well as that Huskar. So it's an expensive defense from Team Greece, but it's a defense nonetheless. They're not going to be able to crack back into anything too substantial, but hey, when you make such a drastic mistake like throwing away 3 heroes for free, and you don't actually lose any Raxes, 40 minutes in the game, you're going to be feeling pretty good about that.
I can't help but feel that RNG was not on Axe's side. It didn't look like that was a full creep wave and a Huskar that was on low HP that was attacking him. It really didn't look all that great. So unfortunate, he kind of needed to look for the dunk immediately as the stun ended, so Sneaky couldn't heal through any of that, but now Roshan is going to be taken. After the axe is down, there's not much that they have to worry about. Now get an Aegis and a Cheese for their team. As far as the item progression is concerned, Battle Fury is finally done, but Winter Wyvern is going to be shot down in mid lane by the Lina.
Lina actually has an energy booster. Was she working with... I think she was working with Arcanes, probably just like residual from Arcane Boots, so no indication what she wants to go for yet, but still with level 3 Laguna Blade, the burst power is certainly there, and Spartan's almost at his level 16 as well. So yeah, that's a lot of burst damage with just 2 spells being casted. With an Aegis in tow, with 30 seconds with no Winter Wyvern, it looks like Team Greece are going to look to take the first set of Raxes of the game. As long as Thug doesn't get jumped on by the axe, as long as he's able to get that ultimate off, I think they should be fine, at least for the next 20 seconds. Jumping from Eris Loco and catch only Sneaky, however. Is that good enough? He's going to get glimmered up, increasing his magic distance. He'll back off. He has still the BKB and the Aegis, and still his Inner Vitality working for him. In fact, making it so he's taking actually no damage from this tower. It's going to be fortified, yes, but they're not going to be able to dislodge Sneaky, not easily. He's running low on mana, and that's not something you would expect to be a limiting factor from Huskar, but it will force them to fall back.
Also, that negative Solar Crest is going to be really annoying for Huskar to deal with, although eventually an MKB should be coming out from him. It's going to be a long time before Sneaky has it, and you really don't want to pop a BKB to try to deal with that, just for some chip damage. They'll back off into the woods. Unfortunately, since Lina has disassembled before Boots of Travel, she doesn't have Arcanes to give them a couple extra casts of Intervit. So that is going to slow this down a lot, and I don't think they'll try to fully commit on these creep waves unless they find a single pick-off, which is a definite possibility. Right now, if I'm the Radiant team, I might even consider placing down some sentries just to make sure that you don't get Glimmer Laguna.
Well, they see a regen rune on the top lane, or the top river area, so that might give them enough to just keep on rolling with it. Like, they still have the Aegis and Cheese, and it's on a timer, so, eventually it is going to be reclaimed, so the window is open, but very quickly closing. It looks like they're going to concede the push for right now. Just try to tend to their lanes just a little bit. Still, they're not in any tremendous rush, as Silencer is working with a hell of a lot of damage. Now grabs a Blink Dagger. We do see a big movement, however, from Team Sweden, as they are looking for something in the enemy jungle. Butterfly's being built up on Krilly. He really doesn't want to die right now, because if he does die, most likely he's going to have to buy back.
Yeah, and that's really not a buyback they want to use. He's going to TP down towards the bottom lane, and will secure enough farm for the butterfly should he want to forgo having that buyback availability. As far as the item progression on the enemy's side, Huskar's finally upgraded his boots to boots of travel, and this is pretty much Huskar's peak, although there are other items for him to pick up. This is about as scary as he gets. Any later into the game, and Ember Spirit's going to be picking up his Daedalus, his major damage items. Although the Ember Spirit isn't super relevant now, give him 20 minutes and he'll be a monster.
He's already gotten 40 minutes. It's a lot more time than an underfarm Ember Spirit usually gets. So E-Skill, if it's kind of greedy asking for more time, but it seems like they may be able to get it. He has his Battle Fury completed, should have his Chrysalis on the way. Probably Tier 2 Tower just going to be dropped without too much of a fight from the Radiant side, but still E-Skill. He's getting to a stage where his damage is actually going to be relevant, and Krilly is already there, but going to get even more damage, so can't say no to that. This tower is going to be pushed just by Sneaky. The rest of his teammates going to wrap around, look for someone to Laguna Finger. How much damage does that actually do? 950 pure with 850, 600. Yeah, that's like 1400 damage right off the bat. Nope, they'll catch Ember Spirit with the Blink Hex. That's it.
But no follow-up. E-Skills is going to be able to run away, and he'll be thankful for that extra bit of time. Right now the Tier 2 towers are falling, and very quickly too, the last remaining Tier 2 in the game is down in bottom lane for the Radiant team. That'll probably be the next objective that they'll take. We don't know for sure what the Roshan respawn timer is. Honestly, I should start keeping track of that since the clock isn't working anymore. But it's not going to be for much longer. They'll probably not be able to go high ground with this Aegis.
It should just about be another minute. I think that's
Feels
more or
right.
less where it's at. But we have a lot of gold being held on the Dire side. And obviously at this stage, 45 minutes in the game, you want to be holding money for buyback. But no, they have, instead of 4 staff for the Lion, still Lina is actually going to buy out for a soul booster. So looking for... It's probably too late for a Bloodstone, right? Do you think this is an Octarine? I haven't seen an Octarine in a long time.
I think Octarine is probably the pickup for Lina here. I don't think it's necessarily too late for the Bloodstone, but I think the more reliable ultimates are probably a better choice for the Lina. And just as far as raw mana pool is concerned, the Octarine will offer you a little bit more, and then you can get a ref afterwards. Maybe replace that Glimmer Cape.
Well, either way, there are big items coming up on both sides right now, and it's kind of curious to see them just spending it and not saving for buyback at all, but hey, sometimes you just got to get your items. They're going to take this tower, which will mitigate that problem to some degree. Aegis now reclaimed, so Huskar's not going to have that. I think it's worth giving the cheese to Huskar, although kind of has its downside. You want your Huskar to be on low HP. It's still worth having, I think. They're going to poke for this bottom lane, but with no Aegis, it's just not the right time to do it. Might as well wait for the next set of items, something like a Satanic on Huskar, get him his MKB. Right now, no items in the Courier, so yeah, just no rush again. We're in for this game for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely. And even once they get those items, they'll probably wait a little while longer so they can have those items and buyback. If we take a look at the buyback status, both of the team's major heroes have them. The Gyrocopter has buyback, and he's about to have buyback as well as Butterfly, just 100 gold short until he has that.
Really gonna
might
get it
have
with
to
both
be
Finger and the Laguna Blade. Still alive, however, gets put into the snowball. Will survive for even a while longer. Can't get a Satanic off, maybe. Yes, pops BKB and Satanic. They can't kill off Krilly, and with Winter's Curse, it's gonna be a lot more difficult for them to kill off anyone at that. They're going to lose the Lina. They're going to lose Relax. That was a perfect ambush from the Greek side, but it just wasn't enough damage. They bring him down super low, but they're unable to get the Dragon Slave and the LSA and all the other follow-up skills. That could have been the game, I think, if they just picked off the Gyrocopter, or at least forced out a buyback.
Yeah, it would have done that, but Krilly now has this completed Butterfly and buyback available since that fight was botched. It was very close, and a lot of it comes down to just having the casual Talisman of Evasion on his person. There were like 3 misses from the Lina, and it got so close to being able to kill off Krilly, but close doesn't cut it. The Satanic by the Gyrocopter was used at the perfect moment. Krilly was very patient with using that until he knew he could survive.
Yeah, when you put up the BKB and the Satanic, and Silencer's damage output plummets. Hell, everyone's damage output plummets. Let's not split hairs here, but now the crackback. Last time, the Dire were able to defend with 2 buybacks. This time, they only have 1 at their disposal. Spartan looking for a Hex. Not going to find it just yet. Clearly also grabs his Butterfly mid-fight. Thug has a sheep stick available. Sneaky's gonna get called by Eris Loco. Not gonna do a ton just yet, but draws him out of position. Hookshot in from Relax right now. Sneaky and Relax both calling this call down. Sneaky taking a lot of damage, trying to race up against Krilly. Doing a not terrible job. Pops the cheese at well, but Krilly with Satanic is once again get juice back at the full. They do bring down Sneaky, who does also have a buyback. Lena's back as well. No global silence right now for Thug, not for another 30 seconds. Krilly still at full HP with no Satanic. This is the time to go if ever there is a time to go. Spartan is so low, however, he can't go in, and Ill is kind of cautiously approaching as well, but Krilly is going to get lifted up into LSA. Probably Eris Loco is going to jump in, not interrupted, but still interrupted. Ill is completely combo. Thug's in the back line, as is Sneaky, doing a lot of damage. Snowball in onto the Huskar. If they can bring him down again, they will not have to worry about him for a very long time with the curse. Force Staff out from Sneaky. He's dropping low. He will go down. They also catch call onto Thug, who's forced to buy out. He's the only hero alive for Team Greece, however. Up against 5 heroes, they're just going to go straight for the juggler. They're just going to go straight for the win. And if Thug gets hit with any form of CC at all, then it's just completely game over, although I think it might just be game over regardless. Nothing that one hero can do about this.
Eris Loco and Steph Style, partners in crime in that last fight, and they really bailed it out. They're going to call onto Thug, and that should be a good game, and it's going to be called out officially. Axe consistently finding those calls onto the Huskar made it almost impossible for the Huskar to get his damage output off. And right before Eris Loco is about to die, Stepstall comes in with a snowball that dodges the finger of death that would have been lethal. So that was a very well played last fight, and somehow Sweden are going to pull through. It looked shaky at times, despite the Gyrocopter having an amazing game, despite farming a lot and getting pretty much all of the space in the world. They never transitioned that into tower pushes, so it looked shaky, but yeah, all it takes is 1 or 2 slip-ups, and crucially, down in that bottom fight when they're just not able to get that Gyrocopter kill with the Laguna Blade and their Finger of Death both, it was really the turning point in this game, although it was a very late one.
Yeah, I don't like the game probably would have gone for a much longer stage if like just no one died there, but the fact that they went for it and not only didn't get the kill but also everyone died, that was the real problem there. Like, if they even just, like, 1-for-1 trade or, like, 2-for-1 trade, if they get the kill on the Gyrocopter, yet lose their Lina and the Lion, it's not really a terribly huge deal. We'll probably still be casting this game, but that was just a... It turned out to be a Hail Mary move, even though I don't think it was meant to be that. So, yeah, I mean, solid plays from Team Sweden overall. Krilly getting a ton of gold in this game. Not really having a tough lane, granted, but 14, 2, and 13. Axe had a couple of great moments there as well, and well, it's going to be now 6 points for Team Sweden.
Yeah, ending the day 4-0, and as a whole, they looked really strong. Although Greece did give them a run for their money, it'll be interesting to see how this group develops over the upcoming days.
America #1.
Woo!
No. Okay. Well, America, some points, please. I don't know. I don't have high expectations for that, but you know, gotta remain optimistic. Guys, this is going to be the end of today's stream. We got more from the National Cup coming up tomorrow, so be sure to follow the channel for that. Also follow myself at Mikelorus, follow my co-caster at GrandisV. It's all on the screen right now. It's all in title. It's freaking everywhere. Big thanks to our sponsors. They're all on the screen as well. Hitbox, G2A, D2L, esportgaming.com. And we will see you guys tomorrow. See you then.
See ya.